he's asking if there's if the market is trying to tell us that this market cycle is weaker than previous market cycles because that we already tagged this high of 88, or it's too early in the cycle.
Right.
And is this bearish divergence? I mean, it's a technical bearish divergence, yes. And so actually Steve Courtney from Crypto Crew has been talking a little bit about how much heavy weight is above us on Bitcoin, and that there's a potential setup that's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people because they're not going to know what's going on, and they're going to think the market cycle is over early. So what this has to look like is, I mean, Bitcoin basically has to break all the way up through here, and you got to hope that it makes a new high on the RSI, which would be a 90 or higher, which is like a big ask at this point. And so what that might look like is sometime here in the not too distant future, Bitcoin goes ballistic to the upside. And what that might look like is this flag breaks out, maybe something like this. And then, I mean, it just goes straight up to like 90K, and then it hard rejects like this and makes new lows. And then we get like a mid-cycle correction. Actually, it doesn't even have to go. It hits 90K and it hard rejects down, and it tries to get up. And then we start this like sideways corrective period, which is what I've been waiting for a while now, because this is what happened, mid-cycle last time, something like this. If I throw on, yeah, go ahead. Is it like the log? If I go on log, it'll be a little more clear. But because I do believe that this is to the point about the RSI showing that bearish div, because then what you'd get is, let me delete these out here. So what you'd get then is you'd get the RSI would come up lower, and you'd get this bearish div here. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll make a new high, but you'll actually get a bearish divergence on the RSI, which gives us more time to reset. And this again pushes our cycle out farther into 2026. So this whole scenario, I think, is highly likely just because of how early we were on this move here. And that could have been because of the ETF. And so we just need more time to go sideways, I think.
And
consolidation for sure.
And, we can kind of coincide the time thing, I guess, with what the title of this stream was, with like, when would Pulse Chain's high be? But I want to ask you that because you've talked about the 2026 thing many times. Sami's talked about basically the scenario you just described. He's been talking for 2 years about the dark prophecy scenario and the ETFs coming and all that stuff. I think you're 100% right. Like you were saying, it's Steve Courtney, right? Saying that like people wouldn't be prepared for that. I think you're 100% right, because I mean, it'd be like, okay, like 90K, 85K, 90K, here we go, 120K is coming, and then you hard reject off that and then get to these new lows and stuff. People are like, that was it, now we're in the bear market, and it ends up we're not, and we just need more time. I mean, do you think of all the scenarios, I think I know the answer, but do you think of all the scenarios time-wise for this cycle that is actually the most bullish one, because we get more time, right? I mean,
yeah, it's super bullish. Yeah, because you don't want this thing to be over, right? I don't want it to be over. This is what it would look like. You just get, like, instead of our Prabla being done early, you get a much longer curve. Like, it would just take, I mean, that's pretty ugly, but the general idea here is that, yeah, this just gives us more time to come back and test like other areas. So like, I don't know, it'd be cleaner if this just like rolled over here, and we're out of here by, January, we're already going up again. But yeah, right now it seems like we're actually going to set up for like a break of the highs, marginally higher high, maybe 80, 90K. RSI gets, bearish divs on the shorter time frame. Stuff starts to break down. Maybe it doesn't take as long. Maybe it's more condensed, like something like this. And we get like a Fed pivot. Like, wouldn't it be poetic? You get that Fed pivot like right here, like right at the November, December, where typically we're bullish for crypto. Just something that confuses people and really throws a wrench in the whole 4-year cycle theory and starts to really screw with it.
Well, not to mention, you got people taking profits too, and then if it climbs back up, they're out of ammo because they thought that was the top. It has the opportunity to go even higher because of that. So
right.
That's right. Yeah. Lots of other questions here. I don't know if you guys want to, if it's okay.
Yeah, well, if there's any that you wanted to get to specifically, we can. I starred one that we're going to get to anyway, and I figured we could bring it up when we're in the flow of that conversation.
Yeah.
But if there's one particular you want to get to, go ahead.
Yeah. So, well, no, you're right, and we'll look at this idea of this pulse chain sell wall. We'll look at that once we get into pulse chain here.
I saw a tweet about that the other day. I wanted to ask you about that. Well, first off, let me know if there's any other ones you want to get to, and then we can kind of just get into pulse chain.
Yep, that's good. Yeah. So, last thoughts on macro was that the dollar has basically shown its hand, and it appears as though it's going lower. So I drew this yellow line back in February of 2024. This idea that at best, the dollar would make a marginally higher high before breaking down hard, and then that would give us room to run for stocks and for crypto. And it seems like it's still on track, but I think on the monthly, let's see. So still got 7 days left in the month, but currently this is about to close lower than these levels, and that's important on a monthly time frame. That means that you're confirming a downtrend for a continuation. And then again on the weekly, it already confirmed here on this July 8th candle where it broke these levels here. So that's good for if you like your crypto assets to go up in value. This is the kind of action you want to see. And now the dollar's retesting that level, and two things will happen. This is a doji currently, closes in 2 days, so it's not done yet. Dojis are indecision candles. Oftentimes they'll go like this is a hammer followed by a doji. Oftentimes it'll break up, and so this could do this last gasp and then break down, or it just gets hard rejected here, and then we go lower now. So I mean, does all this kind of seem like it all kind of sets up for bullish in the midterm? For the cycle is not over for crypto or equities, I don't think.